What is up, Gorgeous George fans? It's me, Marty McFly, your Swedish Attorney General, and all-around goon, bringing you something new today, and something that will give us some lols. It's a bit of a new series called Reviews, LOLSuits of the Past, and we are going all the way back to April the 14th, 2010, when Mr. Yared was yet again at court, suing three people: John Jack Gibson, Luis Kalex, and Harry Benson. Let's delve into some documents and have a look. The first document we have here is George's informer pauperis. So let's have a little laugh at this. George Alexander Yared, plaintiff; John Jack Gibson, Luis Kalex, Harry Benson, defendants. Civil action number, and you can see this is April 2010 this was filed. Motion to proceed informer pauperis and financial affidavit. I, George Alexander Yared, say that I am the plaintiff in the above entitled case, that I move to proceed without being required to prepay fees, costs, or give security. Therefore, and that in support of this motion, I state that because of my poverty, I am unable to pay the costs of said proceeding or to give security therefore, and that I believe I am entitled to relief. I further state that the responses which I have made to questions and instructions below are true. And this is 2010, remember. Employment. Are you employed? Yes. Money Clip magazine, straight commission, annual 14,000 income, week $400, and then there's per, I can't work out if that's per week or what he's trying to say there. Straight commission, name and address for employer, Ron Brooks, Money Clip magazine. So we always knew he was employed there, but it's funny just to see how much he was earning. If married, is your spouse employed? No. Other income? No other income. At the time he filed this, have you any cash on hand or money in savings or checking accounts? Yes. He had $200 in his checking account, and that was it. Do you own any real estate, stocks, bonds, notes, automobiles, boats, or other valuable property, including ordinary furnishings and clothing? Yes. So at the time, he said he owned the house for $246,000, and it was a tri-level house, and the '99 Mercedes that he valued at $9,000, and it runs like a top, that '99 Mercedes. Marital status, single for the whole of his life. Total number of dependents, 0, as it will always be. Debts and monthly bills. Saxon mortgage. $201,000 he owed Saxon mortgage, and he was required to pay $1,400 a month. American General at the time he owed $8,700 to, and he was paying them $250 a month. Wells Fargo he owed $4,000 to, and he was paying them $350 a month. Chase Bank he owed them $8,100 and was paying them $410. His electric monthly was $125. His gas monthly was $200. Comcast cable monthly was $165. Personal property, $1,001 biannual. Verizon cell phone, $99. An old telephone number for George there as well. So that's his informer pauperis. So as usual, George the pauper. Let's read the actual complaint. Now, as a rarity, this was a typed complaint. I'll zoom this in for you. To the Honourable Judge James Spencer. In this statement, I'm requesting the courts to file this motion to proceed with the case in hand against the three defendants in question for copyright infringement and stealing my material. After investigation and due diligence on my part, I have discovered case law regarding my matter. Also, the law about copyright infringement and what the law actually describes what copyright is. These three individuals placed my videos on YouTube without my consent, neither oral or written. All three of them broke the law by doing this. They committed copyright infringement and perjured themselves by doing counter DMCAs on my videos. What copyright states that if a movie, picture, image and or recording is viewed multiple times by individuals, that is known as fixation. Fixation is a repetitive usage of watching, playing, viewing or seeing in a tangible medium more than once of that particular creator's work. I'm the creator of this work and sell these DVDs on eBay and play them on my website. They are also aired on television. These videos are viewed and produced by me and me only. I choose videos that I want up. So since I'm the creator of these videos, copyright law would protect me from any user trying to reproduce my material without permission. Only works that are fixed in medium are protected, not the ideas nor thoughts behind it. Luis B. Kalex, one of the defendants, had an image of me from my show about a minute long in his video. Copyright law protects against infringement of pictures or images. Jean-Jacques Gibson and Harry Benson had videos of my actual show uploaded to YouTube. These defendants broke copyright law by using them without my permission on this medium. Case law that I found was High Tech Video Production Inc. versus Capital Stittig /ABC, docket number 190 CV 1015. In this particular case, a video postcard was played, an ABC affiliate station without Video Productions Company's knowledge. They had a copyright label and rights to this video perceived by the courts. The courts rewarded the production company statutory compensation of $3,400 for the television station for airing this video dated 1992 in the Michigan federal courts. Another case law in relation to copyright is Robinson versus Random House Publication in the New York federal courts. In this particular case, the plaintiff copied a book that was already written by the defendant Random House Publishers. This individual set declaration for the courts of ownership in this particular case, when in fact this user plagiarized himself by copying the book without Random House's notice. Random House won in the New York federal courts because they were the original creators and copyright was proven. Docket number 93 Civ 3108. In short, I believe that to the best of my ability I have proven sufficient amount of evidence to support my filing and plead for the courts to action accordingly. I hope the Honourable Judge is satisfied with my studies and accurate account of the law that is discovered. For the prayer of relief requested, I would appreciate punitive damages against these three in question, meaning that these individuals will not be able to steal my property lawfully or otherwise against my wishes in the future and upload it on any media. Also, I request the courts to use this case to set precedents for any other future case such as this. I will respectfully thank the courts in advance for cooperation in granting and hearing the plea. Sincerely, George Alexander Yared. Address. Copy the envelope. So, usual complaint from George. People are using my copyright material. He doesn't agree with fair use. He doesn't even mention any of that. George then filed for a restraining order related to the same case. And we went back to handwritten George here. George Alexander Yared, plaintiff, versus Jean-Jacques Gibson, Louise Kalax, Harry Benson, Reginald Franklin, defendants. Added defendants, and George didn't motion to add any of these defendants. He just thought he could add their names at any time and just put addresses in. Peter McCormack, Stephen Venkholm, Christian Thurston. Oh, liberal decay. Motion for restraining order. I'm asking the courts to add these three new defendants to the original file for this case against copyright infringement. I might be obtaining personal counsel, but for now, pro se, filing this restraint on my own. Please review and add these defendants' names to the original civil case, 310 CV 143. I will thank the courts in advance for its cooperation in this matter. Noting the reasons for adding these individuals are for recent uploading of my current videos, in which there is no authorization in doing so from me for these individuals. This didn't go anywhere whatsoever. George, as usual, failed at court. He then decided to start going down the appeal route. And this is an interesting thing because it proves that George knows when he was supposed to appeal. And it proves that George knows the time limits on appeal because he appealed these decisions. And here he started to request, first of all, he filed his notice for appeal, but he then asked the appeal court to seal the case. I previously requested in the bottom court, he doesn't understand the lower and higher court system, in the bottom court for a seal. I claim pauperist because I didn't have enough income and still don't. I work straight commission, enough income. I'm requesting for these. Okay, this is so hard to read. I'll zoom it in so you can see it, guys, so you can see just how hard this is to read. I previously requested in the bottom court for a seal. I claim pauperist because I didn't have enough income and still don't. I work straight commission. I'm requesting for there to be a seal on this case for their reasons. I was harassed by phone where my number was out for public viewing along with my address and a video made on the internet about how to get to my house. Also, I've received sexual distasteful items through my mail in my mailbox. I've been stalked and open information has been exposed about me on the internet. For my privacy, sanity, and security, I'm requesting the courts to seal any future info in relation to this case for previous given reasons. I'm thanking the courts in advance for cooperation in this matter. Sincerely, George A. Yared. The courts didn't seal the case, and George wasn't happy, so he motioned again for a seal. This time he went back to typing. I'm requesting a seal for this case. Information has been compromised on the internet about my previous court case in the lower courts. See, here he refers to it as the lower courts, which meant someone must have told him. These individuals used Pacer to obtain my place of work number, cell number, and financial affairs. I have had to change my cell phone number twice because I have been called at all hours of the night due to the leaking of my number in the lower courts. Someone has placed disgusting content in my mailbox, which is a criminal matter in play with the United States Postal Service. In relation to this certain individual who on my property, defecating on my yard. Once again, this information being leaked in the lower courts took a turn for the worst and was the cause for all this happening. For privacy and security reasons, I'm asking the courts to place a seal on my case for these reasons. I'm enclosing, along with seal, different images and discussion from these individuals about my previous court case and information for this reason. I respectfully request a motion for a seal on this case. I will thank the courts in this matter in advance. Sincerely, George Alexander Yared. These are some really grainy, horrible black and white copies from Something Awful by the look of it. I'll make these available on Patreon and in the forum. I'll make all the documents available. So forum members who are members of the Patreon board will get access to these documents. And then in about 2 weeks, I'll release them for normal members. They didn't give George this seal, and he then moved on and filed his actual appeal. To whom it may concern, and or to the existing judge handling this case. I have several concerns pertaining to this case and ask the court to please understand my hardship and know that I have and will give the facts to the best of my ability as they pertain to this case, knowing that I'm not an attorney and will give the facts as they are. These 4 defendants in question have stolen intellectual property that I have created and placed several videos from my television show on YouTube and other internet sites without written or verbal permission from me. These individuals might have perjured themselves by not giving their true, accurate information about their identity on these counter notifications. The jurisdiction takes place here in Richmond since I reside here in this vicinity. I'm asking the 4th Circuit Court to render a decision on this matter with the facts listed and without prejudice. This letter is being written on June 5th, 2010, with the original petition to the courts below created on March 10th, 2010. The case was appealed when this case was never tried in its entirety by the downstairs court. Issue for review. My television show was being distributed on the internet and other sites without my permission. I'm the sole creator and author of this program, George Alexander Yared, and my intellectual property was compromised for copyrighted infringement. The law talks about fixation. Anything that is shown with repetitive and continuous showing can fall in the lines of copyright material if the author is not authorising a re-airing of the show. This doesn't fall under fair use or parody because, once again, the item has been reproduced without written or verbal consent. These defendants abuse the system as well as the guidelines of YouTube. The company removed them and they would re-upload them under other erroneous fake accounts. This has become also abuse and harassment as well, as long with other criminal activities being involved, along with stealing my material and making several bootlegs of my show and likeness. I've spoken to entertainment lawyers and I'm working on getting an actual patent and trademark for the show. They told me that wouldn't predicate or impede any claims of ownership without trademark. There is a fine line in terms of parody and stealing somebody's property and creation. The argument of fair use doesn't apply because I've stated my ownership and reject any of my videos being displayed on any internet theme unless they are placed by me or persons that have been given my release or blessings. Once again, this wasn't the case and I have restrained them and taking action accordingly to make sure that access to these videos are restricted and limited for only use at my discretion. I ask the courts to understand that authorization of any kind was never given to these individuals. Certification of service. This will be mailed to the defendants on their said date of 06/07/2010. What other information that is needed I will supply on this matter for the courts if necessary. Relief or prayer requested. I'm asking the courts for punitive damages, meaning I'm not asking for any monetary or cash relief. I'm only asking for relief from the courts to rule in my favour and set precedents on this matter for any of these individuals to be charged in the future for any re-uploads of these videos, and make any ruling for any other future individuals trying to do the same, putting a halt to any of this action from taking place in the legal standings of the law. I will thank the courts for their cooperation in this matter in advance and their understanding on the delicate and stressful matter. Sincerely, George Alexander Yared. Now, I'm going to give you a second to guess how this went, and I'm pretty certain you've all got it right. Unpublished appeal. George Alexander Yared, plaintiff. Jean-Jacques Gibson, Louis R. Calix, Henry Benson, Reginald F. Franklin, defendants, appealees. Per curiam, George Alexander Yared appeals the district court's order dismissing his civil complaint. We have reviewed the record and find no reversible error. Accordingly, we affirm for the reasons stated by the district court Yared v. Gibson, number 310 CV 00143 JRS. Yared's motions to seal are denied. We dispense with oral argument because the facts and legal contentions are adequately presented in the materials before the court. An argument would not aim the decisional process. Affirmed. Essentially, the case got dismissed and the appeal court agreed with it. So George knows how to do the appeal in terms of when he should do it and what orders he can appeal. So he's got no excuse now. If he does try and bring an appeal, despite him being out of time, he's got no excuse because all these documents will prove that George knows what he's doing. So he's going to be out of luck on this one. And any appeal he does bring, we will fight. This has been a review of LOLSuits of the past. It's a quick video today, guys, just to bring you something. Patreon. We're having to hide the Patreon link because George is looking for it and he keeps trying to find it. We know that he's tried to gain access to a couple of things and a couple of people to try and get a link to the Patreon. If you don't have the Patreon link, contact one of the forum admins. Contact one of the Facebook admins. You'll go through the vetting process and then you'll be given the link to the Patreon. Patreon rewards are getting fairly ridiculous in terms of what we're rewarding. I'm looking to do a Patreon reward of a day in Richmond. And it would be a day in Richmond with the drone operator and the private investigator. So if you want that, if we can hit the target for April, I think we'll be able to do it. And then we'll be able to organise it. We'll pay for everyone to go and have something to eat. Goons that are local can meet up. Anyone else that wants to come along can meet up. We'll pay for the investigator to be there, and we'll do an AMA with the investigator and the drone operator. We're all just sat waiting, really. A motion has been sent to the court. We'll do a video on that when we get a response. We never normally do them on the motions we send. We do it on the responses because they're far funnier. If I'm honest, I don't think George is going to respond to anything. Listen, he's been threatening me now for, 6 months? He's going to take me to court? I've not been taken to court. He's not going to do it. George has lied about contacting people at YouTube. We've had emails, correspondence with them, where they have essentially turned around and said, we have not got a clue what Mr. Yared is talking about. If you want to see copies of those emails, they're available on the Facebook group. They're available in the forum. If you can't find any of that stuff, the links will be in the descriptions and on the channels. Obviously, everyone's aware that Mr. Yared did some slaps and got some channels taken down. As always, there's another 50 channels backing everything up, and the mirrors, you just have to know what to search for. If you need to find a mirror of a video that you think is missing, again, message a forum admin. They'll find the videos for you, and they'll send you the links. Guys, as always, I am Marty McFly, your Swedish attorney at law, bringing you reviews of LOLSuits of the past.